Hello aspirants, welcome to Insights IAS Current Affairs for your UPSC exam preparation. In today's session, we will revise a diverse set of topics that are highly relevant for your upcoming prelims examination. We will cover important developments from international relations, environment and biodiversity, science and technology, ancient history, public health, national security, and mapping. Our focus today includes the G7 Summit, the Great Indian Bustard, the Wind Turbine Supply Chain Management Portal, the Dancing Girl of Mohenjo-daro, the Dengue vaccine, India's ballistic missile defense system, and the Shree Jagannath temple. Let us begin with the first topic, the Order of the White Double Cross, First Class. So, what is the context here? The Prime Minister of India was formally conferred with the Order of the White Double Cross, First Class, the highest state honor of the Slovak Republic. That is your trigger fact, and UPSC can frame a direct statement-based question from this, so hold it clearly. Now, what exactly is this order? The Order of the White Double Cross, known in Slovak as Rad Bieleho Dvojkríža, is the highest state decoration awarded by the Slovak Republic. Importantly, it is specifically designed to honor foreign citizens who have either rendered exceptional services to the development of relations between their home nations and Slovakia, or who have significantly enhanced the international standing of the Slovak Republic. So note carefully, this is an honor reserved for foreign citizens, not Slovak nationals. That distinction is worth remembering. Now, coming to the history of this order. It was formally instituted on the 1st of March 1994. The timing is not incidental, it followed the peaceful dissolution of Czechoslovakia, famously known as the Velvet Divorce, which took place in 1993 and coincided with the birth of the independent Slovak Republic. For prelims, note this carefully. The order came into existence in 1994, 1 year after Czechoslovakia's dissolution. Now, let us look at what makes this order distinctive, its key features. First, the order has a graded hierarchy. It is divided into two structural divisions, civil and military, and consists of three distinct classes. The first class is the highest and most prestigious grade. Second, regarding who actually confers this decoration, it is legally awarded exclusively by the President of the Slovak Republic, who acts on recommendations or exercises sovereign prerogative during diplomatic state visits. Do not confuse this with the Prime Minister or Parliament of Slovakia. The conferring authority is the President. Third, the badge itself carries a striking design. It features a stylized white double cross, which is the central motif of the national coat of arms of Slovakia, resting on a red enamel background, bordered by a golden laurel wreath. And before we move ahead, let us lock in this reference point. For your quick revision, here is a table of state honors conferred on the Prime Minister of India in 2026. From the Slovak Republic, the Order of the White Double Cross, First Class. From Dominica, the Dominica Award of Honor. From Guyana, the Order of Excellence. And from Barbados, Honorary Freedom of Barbados. UPSC can frame a matching question from this table, so imprint this combination. So, to quickly recap for your exam, the Order of the White Double Cross is the highest state decoration of the Slovak Republic, instituted on the 1st of March 1994, following the Velvet Divorce of 1993. It has three classes, with the first class being the highest, is divided into civil and military divisions, and is conferred exclusively by the President of Slovakia. Moving on to our second topic, the Great Indian Bustard. Here is the context. The Union Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change announced that Project Great Indian Bustard, or Project GIB, has successfully added 3 more chicks to its conservation breeding program. That is a positive conservation milestone, and it signals that this species will stay relevant in current affairs. So what exactly is this bird? The Great Indian Bustard, scientifically known as Ardiotis nigriceps, is a large terrestrial bird native to the Indian subcontinent. It is one of the heaviest flying birds in the world, and it serves as a flagship indicator species for the health of grassland ecosystems. For prelims, fix the scientific name Ardiotis nigriceps. This is a direct MCQ target. Now, the first major examinable area from this topic is habitat and distribution. So let us go through this carefully. The vast majority of the surviving wild population is restricted to the state of Rajasthan, particularly within the Desert National Park near Jaisalmer. That is your primary stronghold, Rajasthan, Desert National Park, Jaisalmer. Smaller, highly fragmented populations persist in dry grasslands and scrub forest biomes across Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. In terms of preferred ecosystem, the Great Indian Bustard favors wide, open, semi-arid grasslands, uncultivated agro-pastoral landscapes, and low scrub plains with minimal human disturbance. It avoids dense forests and intensively irrigated agricultural lands. Do not confuse its habitat with that of wetland or forest species. This is a grassland specialist, and that distinction can appear in an elimination-based MCQ. Now coming to conservation status, and this is where prelims questions are most likely to come from. On the IUCN Red List, the Great Indian Bustard is classified as critically endangered, the highest threat category before extinction in the wild. Under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, it is listed under Schedule 1, which grants it the highest level of legal protection against hunting and exploitation. And under CITES, it is listed under Appendix 1, which prohibits international commercial trade. If you remember nothing else from this section, hold on to these three: IUCN Critically Endangered, WPA 1972 Schedule 1, CITES Appendix 1. Now let us come to its key characteristics. The Great Indian Bustard stands nearly 1 meter tall with a horizontal body structure, long bare legs, and an ostrich-like appearance. Adult males can weigh up to 15 to 18 kilograms. It features a prominent black crown on the head, a pale neck, and a brownish body accented by a black breast band that becomes more distinct in males during the breeding season. In terms of feeding habits, it is an opportunistic omnivore. It feeds on insects like beetles and grasshoppers, rodents, small lizards, snakes, grass seeds, and ground-growing agricultural crops. Now pause here and hold this next point. It is absolutely critical for prelims. The Great Indian Bustard has an extremely low reproductive rate. Females typically lay only a single egg per year directly on the open ground. This lack of arboreal nesting makes their eggs highly vulnerable to predators like foxes, feral dogs, and crows. And here is the leading cause of mortality for this species today. Due to limited forward line of sight, the birds are highly susceptible to colliding with high-voltage overhead power lines running through their grassland habitats. UPSC may present a statement suggesting the leading cause of mortality is hunting or habitat loss. Here is why that would be wrong. The source clearly identifies power line collisions as the current leading cause of death. So, to quickly recap for your exam, the Great Indian Bustard, Ardiotis nigriceps, is critically endangered under IUCN, listed under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 and under CITES Appendix 1. Its primary habitat is the Desert National Park in Rajasthan. It lays only 1 egg per year, and power line collisions are currently its leading cause of mortality. Let us now move to our third topic, the 52nd G7 Summit. The context: Prime Minister of India arrived in Evian, France, to participate in the 52nd G7 Summit at the official invitation of French President Emmanuel Macron. This marks India's 13th overall and 7th consecutive appearance as an invitee to the G7. Both these numbers, 13th overall and 7th consecutive, are directly examinable. Now, what is the G7 Summit? The G7, or Group of Seven Summit, is an annual international forum that brings together the leaders of the world's most advanced industrialized economies. It serves as a critical platform for high-level political and economic coordination to shape global responses to pressing transnational challenges. Coming to host details. The 52nd G7 Summit is being hosted in Evian, France from the 15th to the 17th of June 2026 under the presidency of Emmanuel Macron. The rotating presidency will officially hand over to the United States for the summit in 2027. Now let us understand the history of this forum. The G7 originated in the mid-1970s as an informal gathering of finance ministers and leaders seeking to coordinate solutions to the global oil shocks and macroeconomic crises of that era. The European Union, then the European Community was progressively integrated into all political sessions, beginning with the London Summit in 1977 and the Ottawa Summit in 1981. The group then expanded into the G8 in 1998 with the formal inclusion of the Russian Federation. Then in 2014, the leaders reverted to the G7 format exclusively after suspending Russia's participation following its violation of Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. For prelims, fix this sequence: G7 origin in the 1970s, G8 from 1998, reversion to G7 in 2014. UPSC can directly frame a chronology-based question from this. Now, coming to the members of the G7. The G7 comprises 7 major advanced industrialized economies: Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States. The European Union participates as a fully integrated non-enumerated member, meaning it is part of the forum but is not counted among the 7. Do not confuse the EU's status as a full member with that of invited guest nations. For the 2026 summit specifically, the invited guest countries are India, China, South Korea, Kenya, and Brazil. Now let us look at the key functions of the forum. The G7 works alongside larger frameworks like the G20 to synchronize international monetary actions, balance macroeconomic instabilities, and preserve global financial predictability. It also formulates unified strategic policies regarding pressing international conflicts, maritime security, and peace architectures. On the technology governance front, it establishes international frameworks for emerging technologies, and the 2026 agenda is focusing heavily on the safe deployment and ethical future of artificial intelligence. Finally, the G7 issues joint ministerial declarations and communiques that are politically binding on all participating member states. So, to quickly recap for your exam, the 52nd G7 Summit is being held in Evian, France, from the 15th to the 17th of June 2026 under France's presidency. The G7 has 7 members plus the EU as a non-enumerated member. Russia was suspended in 2014, and India is participating for the 13th time overall and the 7th consecutive time as an invitee. Our fourth topic is the Wind Turbine Supply Chain Management Portal, WT-MARUT. The context. The Union Minister for New and Renewable Energy officially launched India's first dedicated wind turbine supply chain management portal, WT-MARUT, at the Global Wind Day Conference in Goa. The event itself, the Global Wind Day Conference in Goa, is worth a brief note, as UPSC can ask about the venue or the occasion. So what is WT-MARUT? It is India's first indigenous centralized digital platform explicitly dedicated to managing, tracking, and optimizing the domestic wind turbine manufacturing supply chain ecosystem. The nodal ministry is the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, or MNRE. The aim of WT-MARUT is to strengthen India's domestic wind manufacturing capabilities and drive inclusion across the supply chain. Now here is where prelims questions are most likely to come from the key features of the portal. First, it provides supply chain visibility and mapping end-to-end operational visibility across the entire tier-structured wind energy component network, from raw processing to final assembly. Second, it facilitates automated ALMM compliance. ALMM stands for Approved List of Models and Manufacturers. This is the government's domestic sourcing framework, and WT-MARUT ensures smooth compliance with local content requirements under it. For prelims, note the full form of ALMM. It can appear in an expand the abbreviation question. Third, it functions as a supplier discovery and qualification platform, a business-to-business tool that helps project developers find, verify, and qualify component suppliers, reducing procurement times. Fourth, it serves as a cross-sector collaboration hub, a unified communication and data sharing platform linking turbine manufacturers, independent power producers, component designers, and policy regulators. Fifth, it incorporates export readiness analytics tracking mechanisms to help domestic manufacturers align their component specifications with international quality standards. Now, Coming to the significance of WT-MARUT, and these are facts you should not skip. India has installed 56.1 GW of wind capacity but has utilized only a small share of its estimated 1,164 GW potential. WT-MARUT provides a centralized platform to accelerate project development and support the national target of 100 GW by 2030. With wind equipment exports exceeding Rs 12,000 crore in the financial year 2025-26, WT-MARUT strengthens India's manufacturing ecosystem. It supports India's ambition to capture 10% of global wind turbine exports by 2030 and 20% by 2040. If you remember nothing else from this topic, hold on to these three numbers. India's installed wind capacity 56.1 GW. Estimated total potential 1,164 GW and the 2030 target 100 GW. These are your anchor facts for any statement-based question on India's wind sector. So, to quickly recap for your exam, WT-MARUT is India's first centralized wind turbine supply chain management portal, launched by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy at the Global Wind Day Conference in Goa. It enables ALMM compliance, supplier discovery, and export readiness tracking. India currently has 56.1 GW of installed wind capacity against a potential of 1,164 GW with a target of 100 GW by 2030. Now let us move to a very interesting art and culture topic, the dancing girl of Mohenjo-daro. The context is, the National Council of Educational Research and Training (NCERT) has announced it will replace a retouched image of the iconic Mohenjo-daro dancing girl in its new Class 9 art textbook. Note the expansion carefully. It is the National Council of Educational Research and Training, not technology. That is a common error aspirants make. So what is the dancing girl? It is a masterpiece of prehistoric art, a freestanding, realistic bronze statuette depicting a slender young woman. Standing at approximately 4 inches in height with dimensions of 10.5 by 5 by 2.5 centimeters, it is widely celebrated as one of the most recognizable and defining symbols of the Indus Valley civilization, also called the Harappan civilization. Now, coming to its discovery and history, and this section is densely examinable. The figurine was unearthed in 1926 by British archaeologist John Marshall during excavations at Mohenjo-daro, which is located in present-day Sindh, Pakistan. Marshall coined the term dancing girl because her asymmetrical stance reminded him of the posture of contemporary nautch girls, that is, female dancers in traditional Indian courts. The statue is dated back to the peak of the Bronze Age, around 2500 BCE, or within a broader period of 2700 to 2100 BCE. And here is a fact, many aspirants miss the original artifact is permanently housed in the Prehistory and Archaeology collection at the National Museum in New Delhi, India. Not in Pakistan, not in a foreign museum, it is in New Delhi. UPSC can directly frame a statement testing this location. Now let us go through the key physical characteristics, as these have appeared in descriptive elimination questions before. The figure stands with her feet apart and her body weight distributed unevenly, resting slightly on her right leg. This natural, fluid posture is known in art history as contrapposto. Her right arm is bent at the elbow with a clenched fist propped against the back of her hip, while her elongated left arm hangs loosely by her side, holding what appears to be a small vessel. Now this next detail is absolutely critical for prelims. Her ornamentation is highly asymmetrical. Her left arm is almost completely covered with 24 bangles, whereas her right arm bears only 4 bangles and a single bracelet. She also wears a simple cowrie shell necklace. Her hair is neatly coiled into a tight bun at the nape of her neck, and her face features a high forehead, large eyes, a wide nose, and full lips tilted upward with a confident and defiant demeanor. Before we move ahead, let us lock in a key trap point. Do not confuse the number of bangles, 24 on the left arm, 4 on the right. UPSC may flip these in a statement-based question. That is where aspirants lose marks. Now, coming to the significance of the dancing girl. The statuette demonstrates Harappan expertise in the complex lost wax casting technique and advanced bronze metallurgy. Its copper-tin alloy composition shows deliberate knowledge of durability and metal engineering. Scholars argue the figure may represent a warrior, youth, or ethnic identity rather than simply a dancer, reflecting the unresolved social meanings of Harappan art. Unlike most Harappan human figures made of terracotta, this sculpture is crafted in bronze using a sophisticated process, and its complete nudity and artistic style make it a unique example of Indus Valley craftsmanship. So, to quickly recap for your exam, the Dancing Girl of Mohenjo-daro is a bronze statuette discovered in 1926 by John Marshall at Mohenjo-daro in present-day Pakistan, dated to around 2500 BCE, and currently housed at the National Museum in New Delhi. It was made using the lost wax casting technique, stands about 4 inches tall, features 24 bangles on the left arm and 4 on the right, and is crafted from a copper-tin alloy. Our sixth topic is the dengue vaccine, a very important science and technology topic for this cycle. The context: the recent suspension of Brazil's dengue vaccination campaign on the 8th of June, following the deaths of 2 individuals, has raised significant safety concerns regarding India's upcoming indigenous dengue vaccine, DengiAll. So, what are dengue vaccines? They are specialized biological formulations engineered to protect against the dengue virus, or DENV, which is a mosquito-borne pathogen. Because DENV exists as 4 distinct viral variations or serotypes designated DENV1, DENV2, DENV3, and DENV4, an effective vaccine must be functionally tetravalent, meaning it must stimulate equal, simultaneous immunity against all 4 strains. For prelims, note the term tetravalent. It means effective against 4 serotypes, and do not confuse it with trivalent or bivalent, which refer to 2 or 3 strains. Now let us look at the various dengue vaccines currently in the picture. DengiAll is India's indigenous candidate, developed by Panacea Biotech in collaboration with ICMR. It completed Phase 3 trial enrollment in January 2026 and is awaiting data analysis for Indian regulatory approval. Butantan DV was developed by Instituto Butantan in Brazil. Its rollout was suspended on the 8th of June 2026 after 42 serious adverse events and 2 deaths. Qdenga, developed by Takeda of Japan, is approved globally, with Indian regulatory approval reported to be imminent. And Dengvaxia, developed by Sanofi Pasteur, was the first licensed dengue vaccine in the world, but it was suspended in the Philippines after causing severe adverse late-stage effects. UPSC can test you on which vaccine is associated with which developer, so imprint this combination. Now, coming to how dengue vaccines actually generate immunity, and this is where the mechanism becomes important to understand. Dengue viruses use outer envelope proteins, called E proteins, to attach to and enter human cells. These proteins are the primary targets recognized by the immune system. Vaccination stimulates 2 types of antibodies. Type-specific antibodies precisely target one dengue serotype and effectively neutralize that specific strain, providing strong and long-lasting protection against the matched serotype. Cross-reactive antibodies, on the other hand, can bind to all 4 dengue serotypes, but often with lower precision, and they are produced in larger quantities than type-specific antibodies. Now pause here and hold this next point. It is the most important mechanism in this topic. When cross-reactive antibody levels decline over time, they may become too weak to fully neutralize the virus. This creates a risk of incomplete immune protection during later infections. And here is the mechanism that makes dengue vaccination genuinely dangerous in certain contexts. Antibody-dependent enhancement, or ADE. Weakly binding antibodies can unintentionally help dengue viruses enter immune cells more efficiently. This may increase viral multiplication and raise the risk of severe dengue complications. This is the mechanism behind the Dengvaxia controversy in the Philippines. For prelims, the term to remember is antibody-dependent enhancement, or ADE. UPSC can test this directly. Now let us look at the key features specific to NIH-based vaccines, that is DengiAll and butantan DV. Both vaccines use a live attenuated platform, meaning they use weakened live dengue viruses that trigger immune memory without causing full-blown disease. This approach closely mimics natural infection. Each of the 4 dengue serotypes is weakened separately and then combined into one tetravalent vaccine, allowing immunity to be developed against all 4 serotypes simultaneously. However, there is a key limitation. One vaccine strain may replicate more strongly than others, suppressing weaker strains, which can produce uneven immune responses across the 4 serotypes. Additionally, because DENV3 and DENV4 were not widely circulating during Brazilian trials, protection against these strains remains uncertain, and additional real-world data is needed to confirm effectiveness. So, to quickly recap, for your exam, dengue vaccines must be tetravalent because DENV exists in 4 serotypes. DengiAll is India's indigenous candidate by Panacea Biotech and ICMR, while Dengvaxia by Sanofi Pasteur was the first ever licensed dengue vaccine. The core danger mechanism is antibody-dependent enhancement, or ADE, where weakly binding cross-reactive antibodies help the virus enter immune cells more efficiently. Our 7th topic is the multi-layered ballistic missile defense system, the context. The Defense Research and Development Organization (DRDO) successfully conducted 3 consecutive flight tests to demonstrate India's multi-layered ballistic missile defense, or BMD, capability. So, what is a BMD system? A ballistic missile defense system is an ultra-advanced, automated military network composed of long-range tracking radars, synchronized command and control centers, and specialized interceptor missiles. It functions as an active defensive umbrella designed to detect, track, intercept, and completely destroy incoming hostile ballistic missiles. India's multi-layered system is entirely designed, engineered, and tested by DRDO. For prelims, note the elite group of nations that possess BMD capabilities: the United States, Russia, China, Israel, and India. The aim of this system is to construct a highly reliable shield, often described as India's indigenous Iron Dome, to insulate major strategic installations, metropolitan cities, and population centers from sudden foreign missile strikes. Now here is where prelims questions are most likely to come from the technical and operational features of the system. The network is built around a dual altitude tiered architecture. The first tier involves exo-atmospheric interceptors, which are engineered to operate in the uppermost regions of the Earth's atmosphere and outer space. These execute high-altitude kill missions. The second tier involves endo-atmospheric interceptors, which are designed to neutralize incoming threats within the lower Earth atmosphere at altitudes below 100 kilometers. Do not confuse exo-atmospheric with endo-atmospheric. The exo operates in space. The endo operates below 100 kilometers within the atmosphere. That is a classic elimination point in a statement-based question. The advanced interceptor variants tested are rated to counter and destroy intermediate-range ballistic missiles, or IRBMs, and hostile aircraft operating at distances ranging between 2,000 kilometers and 5,000 kilometers. The system also pairs highly sensitive early warning radars with automated command nodes, allowing it to simultaneously spot multiple low radar cross-section targets, compute intercept vectors, and launch defensive counters in seconds. Alongside standard land-based ballistic protection, the network also integrates the newly tested Naval Anti-Ship Missile Medium Range. This component utilizes pinpoint navigation and low-level sea-skimming trajectories to neutralize moving maritime targets with terminal precision. So, to quickly recap for your exam, India's multi-layered BMD system is developed entirely by DRDO and aims to provide a shield against foreign missile strikes. It has 2 altitude tiers: exo-atmospheric interceptors operating in outer space and endo-atmospheric interceptors operating below 100 kilometers. It is capable of countering IRBMs at ranges between 2,000 and 5,000 kilometers, and India joins the United States, Russia, China, and Israel in the elite group of nations with this capability. And finally, let us come to our mapping topic, the Shree Jagannath Temple. The context. The Shree Jagannath Temple Administration has officially secured wordmark registrations for the terms Ananda Bazara and Patitapabana, along with a logomark registration for the sacred Nilachakra logo under the Trademarks Act. So what is the Shree Jagannath Temple? It is a monumental sacred Hindu temple complex dedicated to Lord Jagannath, a highly revered, synthesized manifestation of Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna. It stands as one of the 4 apex Chardham pilgrimage destinations for Hindus globally and holds structural eminence as one of the 108 Abhimana Kshetrams within the Shree Vaishnavite theological tradition. For prelims, fix both facts, Chardham pilgrimages and 108 Abhimana Kshetrams. These are direct statement match targets. The historic temple complex is situated on the eastern coastline of India at Puri, Odisha. The site itself has been historically referred to as Purushottama Kshetra, Nilachala or Nilagiri, meaning the Blue Mountain, and carries sacred significance that predates the construction of the modern monument. Now, coming to its history and administrative evolution. Traditional legends credit King Indradyumna of Avanti with establishing the earliest Jagannath shrine during the Satya Yuga. This is the Puranic genesis of the temple. The present structure was built in the 12th century by King Anantavarman Chodaganga of the Eastern Ganga dynasty. His successor, Anangabhima III, dedicated the kingdom to Lord Jagannath and ruled as his servant. Temple records mention 18 invasions, including the attack by Kalapahad in 1568 CE. Despite idol desecration during these invasions, the sacred Brahma Padartha was preserved and later reinstalled. Moving to the colonial period after occupying Odisha in 1803, the East India Company managed the temple and imposed a pilgrim tax. Opposition from missionaries eventually led to its abolition in 1840. After independence, the Shree Jagannath Temple Act 1955 formalized temple administration. Management is vested in a statutory committee headed by the Gajapati Maharaja. Now let us look at the key cultural characteristics of the temple. The Ratnabedi houses Lord Jagannath, Balabhadra, Subhadra and the Sudarshana Chakra. These 4 form the central focus of worship. The idols are carved from sacred neem wood rather than stone or metal. This is a unique feature of this temple and a direct MCQ target. They are ritually replaced during the Nabakalebara ceremony, which occurs every 12 or 19 years. Do not confuse this with any other temple ritual. Nabakalebara, meaning the renewal of the body, is specific to the Jagannath tradition. Another distinctive feature is the convergence of tribal worship with classical Hindu rituals. The Daitapati servitors trace their lineage to the ancient Sabar tribal community. The annual Ratha Yatra involves the deities being carried on massive wooden chariots through Puri, with millions of devotees participating in pulling the sacred rats. And the temple has attracted saints from diverse traditions, including Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Guru Nanak, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, making it a major center of diverse spiritual traditions. So, to quickly recap for your exam, the Shree Jagannath Temple is located at Puri, Odisha, is one of the Chardham pilgrimage sites and was built in the 12th century by King Anantavarman Chodaganga. Its idols are made of sacred neem wood and are replaced during the Nabakalebara ceremony every 12 or 19 years. The temple is managed under the Shree Jagannath Temple Act 1955 with a statutory committee headed by the Gajapati Maharaja. And with that, we come to the end of today's current affairs session. Before we wrap up, let's quickly classify today's topics according to the UPSC General Studies syllabus for better revision. The Order of the White Double Cross, First Class, and the 52nd G7 Summit fall under GS Paper 2, International Relations. The Great Indian Bustard is important from the perspective of GS Paper 3, Environment and Biodiversity. The WT-MARUT portal is relevant for GS Paper 3, Infrastructure, Renewable Energy, and Economic Development. The iconic dancing girl of Mohenjo-daro and the Shree Jagannath Temple belong to GS Paper 1, Indian Art and Culture. The dengue vaccine is an important topic under GS Paper 3, Science and Technology. India's multi-layered ballistic missile defense system is a key topic from GS Paper 3, Internal Security and Defense Technology. And for mapping practice, remember the location and significance of the Shree Jagannath temple in Puri, Odisha. For the full current affairs article and daily current affairs MCQs, visit insightsonindia.com through the link in the description. Also, subscribe to our Insights IAS YouTube channel and join our official Telegram group using the link provided in the description for all important UPSC updates. Thank you.